No with CO.
Hey folks, are you in the know? Today we're going to talk about charters, team charters to be exact. Do I need a charter? I don't need a charter. Charters aren't important. Maybe I should have a charter. Yeah, you need a charter. Charters are critically important. Why do I need a charter? So let's talk about why a charter is important. Why do you need it? Well, first of all, there's several components that you need to make sure that you have in order to have a solid charter for your team. The first component is your mission. The mission should drive the identity of the team. It should really hit home with them of who they are and why it's important to be a part of that team. And so a mission might be something like be the difference to the customer, be the supplier of choice. Things like that really get to the identity of your team and why you exist. The next thing you need to have is scope. Scope is super important. Scope is important because you have many people in organizations that have agendas, and you want to make sure that agendas aren't creeping in to the purpose of your team. And anytime you have scope creep, it's always important to go back to the team and remind them this is in scope and this is out of scope. The other reason the scope is important is because many teams want to talk about things that are outside of their control. It's easier to focus on other teams and people that impact you versus looking inward and seeing what you can do as a team member and as a team to make things better. The next thing you need to have are goals. Goals are really what drive the team to know whether they're winning or losing. Usually you need to have an X to Y by when, meaning you have a current state and you want to get to a desired state number by a certain period of time. It's super important to have that. Sometimes if you're a team that is always existing, in other words, you don't have an end, you can have general goals like for schedule, you want to be on time. And for quality, you want 99.8% quality or better. Hours per unit, you want to have 10 or less hours per unit. Those are examples of ongoing goals, whereas other goals, you may have specific dates that you need to achieve those goals by. Bottom line is the teams need to know whether they're winning or losing at a glance. And so you have to make sure that your team charter is available, showing those goals, showing that team why they exist and whether they're achieving their marks or not. The next thing that you need on your charter are deliverables. Deliverables are specific things that aren't necessarily variable measurements like goals, where it's more task oriented. Maybe you need to have a deliverable of a well procedure. Maybe you need to launch this new product by the beginning of the year. These are things that aren't number-based, but are task-oriented and task-driven. And so sometimes teams need to identify those things to also make sure that you can see whether you're winning or losing or not. The last thing that the charter needs to have at a minimum are the roles of the team members. It's important to know who coordinates the team, who takes the notes, who talks all the different subjects. Are there subject matter experts that need to provide advice to the team? Maybe you have a team green belt, a team black belt. Maybe you have a team champion that's driving the change that you're looking for or spearheading it. So those are the minimum components to the team charter. Without those components, teams will struggle to be successful. Now you're in the know. Do you remember the components of the charter? Mission, scope, goals, deliverables, team roles. So now you're in the know on charters. Please like, subscribe to my channel. Please send me any questions or comments you may have. And who knows, it could be in the know in the next video.
In the know with CO.